Hello, my name is Samantha Smith, and this is my D424 Capstone for Bachelor's of Software Engineering. This is for a hospitality vacation planner app for a fictional company called Gracie's Hospitality. I made this because I had spent a summer working as a front desk attendant at a resort. There were many problems of miscommunication and old disconnected software that it just caused so many issues for guests and staff alike. So when the capstone came around, I figured I would adapt the old vacation planner from another class project and turn it into something that I would have used. First up, here is the login screen. We'll go ahead and go through here. It has a username and a password and login button. For this demonstration, I have a create samples users. I've already done that, so I'll go ahead and do the first option here. As you can see, it hashes out the password. We log in, and this brings us to the guest dashboard that shows my reservations, my excursions, island information, room requesting room service, and a logout button. Right now, this is the guest version of the dashboard. I have going through our checklist here. I want to really quick show encapsulation. So our first usage of that is here in AppUser.java. Shows all the different parts. Got ID, name, hash, password hash, role, account type, and email. And the getters and setters for there. Let's see here. We also have inheritance with user role being the base access role for any logins or login information. We also have admin users, which are typically staff or IT who need access to the app. It extends, admin user extends user role, and it lists all the things that admin can access. Same here with customer user. Going up here, customer user extends user role showing inheritance. Then I also have polymorphism in here. Let me find that real quick. Going down the list, and going through the app as well, we have my reservations. It shows that this reservation guest is under Hoopla Groups, a group reservation. It shows their information of their name, email, booking ID, where they are, what kind of room, dates, and then the status of it. And you can save it, save the guest booking, which goes right here. You can edit it, so it can be King Suite, and save it, and it will show up on the details here. You can also delete the guest booking. So real quick, we'll just go through here, deleted, and then it's showing the other hotel reservation for this same room. So then we go back here, and we can put in that information again of group of groups. At no.com, their booking number, We'll go ahead and say maybe it's changed to Gracie's. We'll just say Gracie's Resort. All the reservations will be King Suite. We changed their dates to not June, but July 3rd to 2026. And then 07 for 15, the 15th on 2026. And then their status is still confirmed. Now, this will also show validation. If I try to save guest booking with an invalid date right here, instead of month, day, year, hit save booking, and it says dates must be in that format. So in this case, that shows our validation for date checking. Now that it's fixed, we can save the booking and it will show up on the next page. Coming back over here, we can also see excursions. In this case, we have an Adventures with Gracie. Gracie Lounge, you can also save and delete the excursion here. You can also edit it by typing in something different. Let's say we want to change it to the 7th of 2026. Because of some mishap, we save it, and it shows the updated version here. And this is where you go to open up the details and add new ones. And before I forget, that is the same thing here with reservations. Go here and booking details. Next up on this list for the guest dashboard version, we have island information. Island information gives all sorts of different things, but this specifically counts for the search bar rubric item. So let's say you want to find transportation. Make sure that it's spelled correctly. It's transportation, search island info, and this gives you multiple results of Island Ferry Terminal and Gracie's Rental and Transport. Hit search island info again to reset it. And let's see here. We can do attraction, and we would get more. That backing up. Also on the app, we have requesting room service. Right here, we have for Hoopla Group's guest, we have room service request of housekeeping with pending status as it has not been completed, and the date that it was inputted into the system. This is a general note. Note to charge group reservation code for all room service calls, meaning that all rooms that are listed under this reservation, admin and staff know to charge it under the reservation code that is held in the guest's private information. And you can do the same thing here, saving the request, updating, or deleting the request. For now, we're just going to hit save request. That way it stays in there. Got a notification show up at the bottom. You can add more here, and this gives outlines of what needs to be included. And obviously you can't save. All fields are required. Going back to the main dashboard page, real quick, making sure we show database components of add, modify, and delete with both vacations, for reservations, excursions, and room services. Showed validation, required fields, notification, and the invalid date. We also have, if we back out here, and I show you our admin, and log in as an admin, they have a different dashboard. So first off, they have a search button up here. Here they can search for reservations. So let's say they're looking for the reservation for Olive. They can type Olive, search, and this will come up. They don't have anything. It says they need to enter search text. So we're gonna do Gracie's Resort. Do it by the hotel. Hoopla Groups shows up there. Now this doesn't match. Currently with so few entries, it does not match the requirement for the search part, but we already showed that on the reservation, on the island information page. This here, you can see reservations as well, and you can add, modify, or delete excursions here, and reservations. You can also request room service, but in this case, it's more you are adding the room service and you are changing, for instance, admin would change this to, as it says right here, the next one in line, in progress. And they would save the request and it would show there. We can also add a request for Alicia Stanton. This one is going to be maintenance. I can spell today. And it's going to be torn painting in room to be removed. And then this one will be in progress. And the request date is today of June the 22nd, 2026. We save the request. Shows up, room service request added. Going back, we'll go all the way back up here to reports. This hits the rubric item of reporting. We have guest reservation report, excursion participation report, and audit log report. 3 different things to show the history. First off, we have guest reservation report. Here it lists the guest, the booking, the hotel, dates, and status. All right here, and it shows the generation date up here. So right now it is June 22nd, 2026 at 5:34 p.m. Excursion participation report, same thing. It shows the booking IDs, the excursion title, and the date that it's for. On top of that, we have the audit log. Here we have the creates, updates, and deletions as the actions. What exactly was changed? In this case, it was guest bookings. The record name, who it is under, and the timestamp. So this was our most recent change. We recreated the guest booking for Hoopla Groups after we had deleted it. After we had shown the update, there was another update. And then it looks like Olive Green was created about an hour ago, as well as Hoopla Groups was created and updated about an hour ago as well. Going through the list here, we also have scalable design elements that need to be shown. That is going to be in our project section here. We have our project stored in DAO, Database, Entities, Repository, UI, and Utilities. Everything is organized under their specific use. That way, the app can be scaled further if the project goes further. Real quick, some more things. We have class and sign diagrams that were made for this project. For instance, we have this one. This is the class diagram showing how everything's kind of connected. Here we have our app user, our user role, island info and report, guest booking. User role has the admin, guest, and excursion user. Excursions, app user DAO, guest booking DAO, excursion, island info DAO, and so on. Next, we have our design diagram. This is like how the app is moving. We have the user opening the app, logins. If it's valid, yes, it will go to user role and sort them from there. If not, it goes back to login screen. We got our admin and what they can do in their functions. Guest to the guest dashboard, their functions. And then we also have excursion dashboard. What we went through with this program is that we went through the both guest version of the dashboard, meaning that they can see both hotel reservations and excursion reservations. Everything goes through the repository layer, and this app uses a room database with options to go further with cloud deployment. But at this time, it is just a room database to keep everything in function and show that it works before we deploy. We have users table, guest bookings table, excursions, island information table, and reports and audit logs table. With that, we also have, we have our layouts here. Then we also have our test. We have our user role test and the code here, and the validation helper test. We test the email and the date. Both of those test functionalities are in the written document. And then just to finish off with this task, I'll go through the dashboard, the other dashboards of just hotel guest and just excursion guest while we talk. Some dedicated tools for this. I've been using Android Studio for development. For languages, we have Java for the application logic and the XML drawable layouts that Android Studio provides for the user interface, making sure everything kind of fits together. We also have, let me get this in here. For database usage, we are using a room database. For dependency management in the building of the project, we're using Gradle. Version control is GitLab. Unit testing is JUnit. Design diagrams were made with Mermaid. That was a new one for me, but it was rather easy to use, and I could actually code the diagrams myself and kind of organize things that way. And then obviously Panopto for the video recording. We're using, for the demonstration of this project, we're using the device emulator or device manager using a Pixel 10, just to kind of give an idea of how the app would look. So real quick, this is the hotel reservation only dashboard, meaning that they don't have an excursion yet. They have my reservations. They can, in this case, Olive Green just has that one. There's that. They can update and change anything that they want to do with that. If they decide to add an excursion, in this case, there's no excursions here. If they decide to add one, they can add one here, and then admin on their own site can change them to a both user. Going back, the hotel reservation dashboard, they have their reservations, they have their island information, and requesting of room service. And we log out. And then I'll show excursion. Oh, excursion guest 1, 2, 3. Here we go. These are all just sample data at this time. We have my excursions, Adventures with Gracie, on July 7th, 2026, Gracie's Lounge, island information with the search, and requesting room service. And then the logout page brings us back to the top of the app. Let's see. Believe that is everything. Let me just double check my list here. Showed validation, we showed applications. I believe that is everything. This concludes the demonstration of the Gracie's Hospitality app and the required functionality for D424 Software Engineering Capstone Task 3, and just been using the rubric as my guide. Thank you, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Real quick, one thing I forgot to mention, for under tools used for this project, currently for deployment and sharing the project, it is currently being hosted on GitLab pages, where the signed APK can be downloaded and used on personal emulators or devices.